The moment you reveal your plans, you hand others the power to stop you. Think about it. Every word you speak about your next move becomes a weapon in someone else's hands. What if your silence was more dangerous than your words? Now listen carefully. Robert Greene's Law 3 is simple but brutal. Conceal your intentions. The more people know about your goals, the easier it is for them to weaken you. If your rivals know your next move, they can block it. If your friends know your ambitions, envy creeps in. Even those with no malice may talk too much, spreading your plans until they no longer belong to you. This is why the wise keep their path hidden. Silence is not weakness, it's protection. By the end of this video, you'll see why secrecy guards power, why history rewards the strategist who speaks least, and how you can use this truth in business, relationships, and everyday life. And if videos like this sharpen you, stay with this channel. Each video is another law, another tool for your mind. Subscribe so you never walk into the game unarmed. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Understand this. The moment your plans are visible, you become predictable. And predictable people are not powerful. They are controllable. Think about a chess game. If your opponent knows your next 3 moves, you've already lost. You might still move the pieces, but they already control the outcome. The same is true in life. When you reveal too much, your dreams, your ambitions, your strategies, you give others the blueprint to stop you. Now here's the paradox. People are addicted to talking. They reveal out of excitement, out of pride, or simply because silence feels uncomfortable. But every time you explain your next move, you lower your defenses and hand your weapons away. The wise, however, know that power grows in silence. Silence is not absence, it is a presence that unsettles. Ambiguity keeps people off balance. When they don't know your next step, they must guess. They must watch you carefully, waste their energy imagining possibilities. And in that fog of uncertainty, you hold the advantage. History shows us this again and again. Sun Tzu, in The Art of War, taught that all warfare is based on deception. If the enemy cannot read you, they cannot counter you. Napoleon moved his armies so swiftly and with such secrecy that by the time his enemies understood his plan, it was too late. Otto von Bismarck, the Iron Chancellor, concealed his intentions so well that even his allies never knew his endgame until the moment it was revealed. That's why he unified Germany, while others were still trying to guess his motives. And don't think this is only for generals and kings. In business, the same principle applies. Steve Jobs never revealed his true vision until the product was already in his hand. Elon Musk speaks loudly about dreams but never shows the roadmap. Why? Because vision excites people, but exposure invites sabotage. Here's the psychology beneath it. People fear what they don't understand. If you are silent, they project onto you. Some will overestimate you, some will underestimate you. Either way, the advantage is yours. But if you explain yourself fully, you shrink. You remove the mystery. And once you remove mystery, you remove power. Remember this: words are cheap, silence is expensive. Silence buys you time, focus, and leverage. Talking too much sells all of that away. So carry this law into your life. Speak less than necessary. Conceal more than you reveal. Let your results arrive like thunder. Unexpected, undeniable, unstoppable. Because in this world, power is not destroyed by failure. It is destroyed by exposure. Let's begin with a masterclass in concealment. Cardinal Richelieu. 17th century France was not a stable kingdom. It was a battlefield, not of swords, but of whispers. Nobles schemed in the shadows, the king's court overflowed with gossip, and loyalty was sold daily like coin. In this world, information was more deadly than steel, and Richelieu understood this better than anyone. They called him the Red Eminence. His robes were scarlet, but his true strength was invisible. Unlike the nobles who boasted of their plans, Richelieu revealed nothing. Even to allies, even to the king himself, he gave only fragments. never the whole design. Why? Because he knew the danger of exposure. If you show people your entire hand, they will unite to crush you before you act. Richelieu masked his intentions so thoroughly that his enemies never knew where to strike. One day he seemed to favor the nobles, the next the crown, the next the church. He played every side, and yet no one could read which side he truly served. And here's the irony. By hiding his real intentions, he appeared harmless. Courtiers thought they could outwit him, only to find that he was 10 steps ahead. Nobles underestimated him, and by the time they realized his reforms were stripping away their power, it was too late. He had centralized authority around the crown and made himself indispensable to King Louis XIII. Now think about the psychology here. Why was concealment so powerful? Because humans fear the unknown. When people don't know your next move, they grow anxious, they overthink, they begin to fight shadows instead of fighting you. They waste energy imagining possibilities, while you act in clarity. Richelieu weaponized their uncertainty. His silence was not emptiness, it was strategy. And here's a deeper truth. Richelieu didn't just conceal to protect himself. He concealed to create dominance. When people cannot read your mind, they begin to assume you are smarter, stronger, and more dangerous than you really are. Ambiguity magnifies power. Mystery builds reputation. By saying less, Richelieu made others imagine more. Had Richelieu revealed his intentions early, imagine what would have happened. The nobles, who already hated losing influence, would have united against him. The king, suspicious of being overshadowed, might have exiled him. Exposure would have destroyed him before his reforms could take root. But by masking his strategy until the last possible moment, he reshaped France itself. The lesson here is sharp and clear. Power is not only built by action, it is preserved by silence. Richelieu mastered the art of making others blind while he walked with vision. And that is why, even centuries later, he remains the symbol of political cunning, the man who ruled without revealing his hand. Now let's look at a second master, Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon didn't win his battles by brute strength alone. He was rarely the man with the biggest army. His genius came from this law: never reveal your intentions until the last possible moment. Napoleon understood that in war, predictability is death. If your enemy knows where you will strike, they will dig trenches, gather reinforcements, and block your path. But if your movements are hidden, if your plans are cloaked in silence, you hold the advantage. And so Napoleon made deception his ally. He spread false information, sent fake reports, even let enemy spies overhear the wrong conversations. He would march his army in one direction, only to pivot suddenly and strike from another. His opponents wasted their strength chasing shadows while he moved swiftly, decisively, and with precision. The result? Surprise. And surprise, my student, is the purest form of power. When an enemy is unprepared, even a smaller force can crush them. This is why Napoleon could face coalitions of Europe, kings and emperors united against him, and still win. He wasn't stronger, he was hidden. But let's go deeper. Why did concealment work so well for Napoleon? Because human beings crave certainty. Generals wanted to predict him. Politicians wanted to guess his motives. The more they tried, the more he manipulated their expectations. He fed their need for clarity with carefully chosen illusions, while his real plans unfolded invisibly. One example is his Italian campaign of 1796. The Austrian generals thought they had him cornered, expecting him to retreat. Instead, Napoleon concealed his maneuvers, pivoted suddenly, and smashed through their weakest flank. By the time they realized his true intention, their lines had collapsed. And here's the painful truth. Had Napoleon boasted of his plans, had he spoken too freely, his enemies would have been ready. his brilliance would have been neutralized. Concealment gave him freedom, and freedom gave him victory. Now you might say, but that's war. I'm not Napoleon. And yet the principle is the same. In business, in politics, even in relationships. When you reveal your moves too early, you invite resistance. When you conceal, you buy time. You create surprise, and surprise always tips the balance of power. Remember this lesson from Napoleon. Secrecy creates surprise, and surprise creates victory. Reveal too soon, and you hand the enemy a shield. Conceal until the moment of action, and you strike with the force of thunder. Now let's step into the modern world, where Law 3 is alive in plain sight. Steve Jobs and Apple. Jobs understood something that most CEOs still miss. The less you reveal, the more power you hold. Think about it. Apple never announced products years in advance. They didn't leak designs, didn't talk about what was coming. Competitors like Microsoft or Samsung often made big announcements of future ideas, only to disappoint when they couldn't deliver on time. Jobs did the opposite. He built in silence. Apple's culture was secrecy. Even employees inside the company didn't fully know what the other teams were building. Why? Because Jobs knew exposure kills momentum. If you reveal too early, three things happen. Competitors prepare to outflank you. Customers grow impatient, and excitement fades. Your own people feel pressure before the product is ready. By concealing, Jobs created anticipation. The world leaned in, hungry, guessing, rumors spread, and the mystery only grew. When launch day finally came, the impact was like a thunderclap. The iPhone, the iPod, the iPad, each revealed not as an idea, but as a finished revolution. No time for rivals to counter, no space for critics to sabotage. And here's the brilliance. Apple's secrecy didn't weaken them. It multiplied their power, because people fear the unknown, but they also crave it. That tension creates fascination. Apple turned secrecy into a marketing weapon. The less they said, the more people talked. The more they concealed, the more powerful the reveal became. This is the essence of Law 3. Concealment is not weakness, it is strategy. Steve Jobs understood that words leak power. Silence builds it. He didn't just launch products, he staged them like ambushes. When the iPhone appeared in 2007, it blindsided the entire tech world. By the time competitors understood what it was, Apple had already captured the future. Imagine if Jobs had revealed the iPhone's plan years earlier. Competitors would have scrambled, investors would have pressured him, critics would have dissected every flaw before it was born. The product might have died before it lived. Instead, secrecy gave Apple the element of surprise. So here's your lesson. Don't reveal what you're building until it's ready to strike. Concealment isn't about paranoia. It's about timing. Power isn't just in what you create. It's in when and how you reveal it. Like Jobs, let your silence build pressure. Let your work grow in shadows. And when the moment comes, reveal it in such a way that no one can stop it. Laws of power only matter if you live them. So let's bring this down to the everyday. How do you conceal your intentions without cutting yourself off? How do you protect your strength without seeming distant? Start with work. Most people make the mistake of announcing their plans, telling colleagues they want the promotion or hinting to the boss they're aiming for the next level. It feels honest, but it's dangerous. The moment others know your path, they can block it. A jealous colleague may whisper against you. A boss may see you as a threat. Instead, reveal results, not strategies. Do the work in silence. Deliver excellence. Let them see the outcome when it's too late to resist it. Now think about business. Entrepreneurs love to announce, we're building the next big thing. We're going to dominate this market. But early exposure invites sabotage. Competitors react faster. Investors pressure you. Even partners lose patience. The wise move in silence, building first, unveiling later. When the foundation is secure, when the product is ready, when the deal is signed, only then do you reveal. By then, it is too strong to be stopped. And in your personal life, this age of social media tempts people to announce every dream. I'm starting a business, I'm writing a book, I'm getting in shape. But once you say it, half the energy is gone. You've gained the illusion of progress through applause, but you've lost the fire to act. Execution beats exposure. The world doesn't need to see the journey, only the transformation. Here's the rule: speak less than necessary, not lies, not paranoia, just deliberate silence. Be vague when pressed. Share fragments, not maps. Keep mystery alive. Secrecy isn't about hiding weakness. It's about protecting strength. You don't plant seeds on the surface where anyone can trample them. You bury them deep, nurture them quietly, and let the tree appear only when it's strong enough to withstand storms. Conceal your intentions, reveal your results. That's how this law becomes real in life. Here's the hidden truth people rarely admit. Not everyone wants to see you win. Even those who smile at you, even those who call themselves friends, often carry quiet envy. Success makes people uneasy. It reminds them of their own failures. When your plans are exposed, that envy sharpens. Suddenly you are no longer just a colleague or a friend or a partner. You are a rival. And rivals prepare countermoves. They compete harder. They whisper more. Some will even sabotage quietly, not out of hatred, but out of fear that you will outpace them. But when your intentions are concealed, that fear has no shape. They cannot prepare for what they cannot see. Instead of building a counter-strategy, they waste energy guessing. They argue among themselves. They watch your every move with suspicion, while you move freely. This is the power of unpredictability. An open hand can be countered. A closed hand forces respect. When people cannot predict you, they cannot control you. The unpredictable mind always holds the upper hand, not because it is cruel, but because it is unreadable. And in a world where everyone wants to know, the one who remains a mystery is the one who cannot be touched. Power does not come from telling the world what you will do. Power comes from the strike no one expected. When your actions arrive without warning, they hit harder, they echo longer, they cannot be resisted. Silence becomes your shield. Mystery becomes your weapon. And in that silence, you build not just protection, but an aura that keeps rivals cautious, allies respectful, and you, always one step ahead. Revealed plans invite attack. Concealed plans build empires. Every move you announce becomes a target. Every intention you reveal becomes a weakness. But the plans you protect, the strategies you guard in silence, those grow into victories no one can stop. Protect your intentions, and you protect your power.